All right, I've made it to Rochester Rams basketball, the homeland. Of course, he is Sean Keaton. He is their basketball coach, New Brighton native. We have a lot to get to on what is going to be a very busy night. We're going to actually end up in our hometown a little bit later on tonight talking everything that is sports. But when I say New Brighton, Pennsylvania to you, Coach, what do you think about?
Oh, man. Grew up there, hometown. A lot of memories. Family still living there, my mother, my sister. I love New Brighton. Like I said, a lot of memories. Class of 1990. I was bleeding crimson and gold until I came over here with the blue and white. But no, a lot of memories. Like I said, a lot of family, a lot of friends.
Listen,
yes.
This has been one of my really joyful stories to cover. What you have done with the men's basketball program here. You have put it into a stratosphere that no one would ever think was going to be possible. And we're going to talk all about that right now, then we'll get back to New Brighton. So also what CJ Ionini has done with this women's program, which I really have had the pleasure over the last couple of years to do a lot of videos with, that's outstanding stuff, right?
Oh, it's great. I mean, when you have two, you have Coach Matsu, definitely, Hall of Famer, and then CJ, what he's been able to do with the girls program. I mean, when you have them, right here, right, in the building, to be able to reach out to them and get their insight, because they've been in those battles, those critical games, and that, that I'm hoping, to get this team, to that level.
All right,
so
now let's go down memory lane. So late 80s, early 90s, Dan O'Neill, which I always thought was so cool because he actually had a full court basketball court in his backyard up there in Doherty Township. And I remember when he put that in, I thought that was like off the charts. But Johnny Walker, obviously, Gabe Jackson, Chris Pipkin, who I truly believe one of the best leapers I've ever seen in high school basketball, and yourself running the show on the point. Man, Bill Mahan, who I'm going to be talking to later tonight, assistant coach, one-time head coach. What's going on with New Brighton basketball? I know you tried.
I tried,
but we're fans. We love it. We wish you nothing but the best. Your nephew's there.
Yes.
It's painstaking to watch. So let's talk about now, just from a fan's point of view, how this is really killing us, isn't it?
It is. Like you said, my nephew's there. I had the program for 3 years, and I thought what I'm doing here, I was going to be able to, have that success over there. But I don't know. There's a lot going on. We played them early on. We played them right after Christmas time. They have some potential there. I think they just got to keep, building, working, the kids buying in, making that commitment, making that commitment in the off season, because that's critical right there, to make that commitment in the off season. You just can't do it once you get in season. You really got to make that commitment in the off season.
Well, let me give you some thoughts on why I think what's going on, not just in New Brighton, and I love New Brighton, and I wish them nothing but the best. And Coach, anytime you need some love, reach out. I'll be there in a minute. But you got traveling teams, you got AAU, you got a lot of private schools. A lot of things are changing in this whole landscape.
Yes.
But when you think of the success in the teams that you put on the floor, back in the 80s and the early 90s, back to back, you go to the Whippio Championship. You didn't win either time, AAA, AA, but the talent was there. And I know he was a great football player. Gabe Jackson was an exceptional basketball player. John Walker was one of the best big men I've seen at any level. And you were just tenacious and absolutely incredible. But you guys were playing in the playgrounds back in the day.
We did. And that's why I said that off season, we really built our chemistry, during those summer months, those summer times. I think that's critical, to build that off the court chemistry. So once you come into the gym, come into some structure, you've already got a lot of the side things issued, already straightened out, and now you can just, take the coaching and then apply, what you've learned, through the coaching, and then what you've also learned during the summertime, into that season and that. So, we played all the time. Gabe, Chris, we'd be at Hunky Island, we'd be down Junction, Oak Hill. We traveled everywhere. Center Township, Blackhawk. We went everywhere in that. So, we built that rapport. Through those summer months, so once we got to the season, it was just, secondhand for us.
I need you to come to my defense, because I put, and Coach Deep actually bailed me out, God rest his soul. I put Chris Pipkin like one of the top 5 players I've ever seen.
No, you're right. The things that Chris did, and I could tell you some stories.
Tell me.
Be there all night. We're up at Robert Morris and Full House up at Robert Morris. It was a Sewell Center back then.
Right.
Threw an alley-oop from half court, and when I let it go, I said, he'll never catch this because it was going to the top of the ceiling. He just came out of nowhere. I mean, his leaping abilities, his 55 points out at the Blackhawk Christmas tournament. I think that's still an all-time record out there. Just some of the things that he did. And then you had a 6'9" John Walker, and then Gabe. I mean, Chief Wolfgang, Albie Hill. I mean, that was just a special team that we had.
How about you? This is where it gets really interesting. So when I was a child growing up, I idolized certain players. And one, when you were actually playing high school basketball over in New Brighton, here in Rochester, Dan Matzik had a guy by the name of Essex Law.
Oh, yes.
Who I believe is the greatest running back ever to come out of Beaver County, with all due respect to Mr. Dorsett and everyone else. So one night I'm sitting in the VFW, and Essex comes in. And I'm talking about one of my childhood heroes, Poe James. Mm-hmm. Did not realize connection.
Yeah.
He gets him on the phone for me. Now, I've met everybody. You name it. I've met everybody you could ever want to meet in this industry. Entertainers, politicians, you name it. But I was like a kid.
Yes.
And then I find out from Bill Mahan. There was Moses Perkins. There was Skip Kluka. But there was one other man. Bob Newman was in there, who was an all-time favorite of mine, who I wanted an autograph. I wanted his chin strap. But the great Jimmy Swan. So your mom is a Swan.
That's right.
And he would have been your uncle.
That was my uncle. Yep. Jim Swan, my uncle.
He was a legend.
That's what I've heard.
Sean.
Yes.
No, I know why you're such a great athlete. You can't take all the credit anymore.
No, yeah, it's in my DNA, my genes. Yeah, I mean, I've heard great stories of my uncle.
Do you realize how fast this dude was?
I've heard, yeah, I've heard from numerous individuals like yourself today. My uncle did a great job. Went on to play up at Colorado State for a little bit and that. So.
God bless him.
Yes, thank you.
And tell your mom I said hello.
I will.
Anytime she wants to, I'll buy the coffee. I'll be over. So tell me about your mom a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, my mom's a trooper. My father passed away a couple years ago, and that. Thank you. Yeah, so my mom's been a trooper. I have 4 kids myself. My sister has 3. She's just been a trooper. I saw her. She was at my game on Friday in that. So, but yeah, I love my mom. Shout out my mom in that. So, but yeah, she's a trooper.
Where'd you grow up at?
I grew up in Junction. I was a Junction kid.
Nice.
Yes.
Down by Hanks.
Down by Hanks, Brightwood Manor. Grew up in Junction. A lot of great relationships down there.
A lot of fun down there.
A lot of fun down there. It's changed now, but still home. A lot of fun down there. Like I said, a lot of memories. A lot of great relationships that I built down there that I still have today.
So where'd you go after high school?
I went to Edinboro University. So I was Scotty, went up to Edinboro, did 4.5 years up there, and graduated from there in December of '94. And started at RPS January '95, and I'm just coming up on my 29th anniversary this month at FedEx. Yes.
All I know is it's been such a joy. I've been a fan from afar for a long time.
I appreciate it.
And I love doing these things, but I've done all the X and O's. It's not all about basketball. It's about family. It's about community. This program, it's just the beginning. And I think you got it to such heights early on that people expect it every year. And I'm kind of one of them, so keep it going. But just overall, big picture, I mean, you're in it to win it.
Yes.
Where do you see this thing going?
No, I see this really, I think it's not only where it's going, but sustaining it, keeping it at that level and that. Like you said, we came in the doors, appearance in the WPIO championship. Haven't made it that far the last 2 years, but I think this team really has the potential to really make that run, and hopefully we can continue at those levels as we move into the future years.
There was no place like growing up in New Brighton.
I tell you what, it was like I said, I learned a lot. I still take what I learned from there with me now. I try to instill that in my kids. But yeah, I mean, New Brighton was special to me.
What's it like being a granddad?
Oh man, that's special also. You know, that's incredible. Shout out to my granddaughter Mila. She's in kindergarten, and that's incredible. You know, it's just, you know, and that was the thing. You know, when this job presented itself, my family was here. You know, I was living here. So you know, I'm all about family. You know, having, you know, close knit. You know.
In closing, is the Sheffield still the first family of basketball for New Brighton?
I would say so. I mean, they you know, Mr. Sheffield, he was my coach. You know, Rick, yes, you know, and I think he's still involved over there with the program and that. So, you know, he's yes, yeah. You know, when I see him to this day, I still say, hey, Coach Chef, and that. You know, so, you know, like I said, him, his brothers. You know, I coached his, you know, Mr. Rick Sheffield, the nephews, Dr. Sheffield's sons. You know, Jeremy, John. You know, I coached those guys. You know, great family.
Well, you're a great young man.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
God bless you, man.
Thank you, sir.
Much success to the Rochester Rams, and I think they're in good hands. We're going to take a bit of a break. Now we head to Penn State to catch up with Tim Moore, another New Brighton native, the head coach of the Penn State women. And then tonight we wrap it up at the Corner Grill. Lots of stuff to get to. We're on the road with your Pratte Pack. Stay with us right here. It's great to have you aboard.